This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, you like that? That's good. I thought you were. All right. Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clear in front here.
Order to the gathered today to do the important business of the people of the village of Owego. Goodness, mercy, compassion, and understanding.
Amen. All right. First item, as usual, public comment.
Ron Pelton, 137 Tulton Street.
Who you?
I was wondering if I could get the board to maybe put a do not enter sign on that parking lot behind the movie theater. I've tried to leave twice and almost been hit by people trying to come in at the same time. Like, it's one way, there's arrows, but there's no sign, and people tend to be, like I say it now, stupid. So
Maybe an enter only.
Yeah.
there used to be one there, but now there's the sign there. There's painted arrows on the driveway, but
Coming
The
in,
arrow on
No,
the sign
I-
that points out.
coming in from like Church Street?
Yeah.
Okay. Fred? Sign that one?
just like a do not enter or something.
Oh, does he want?
Huh?
Does he want? It's gonna cost him some. Shave the hair,
Some
shave the
donuts.
side of the head and, sugar free. Yeah. You want 'em on both sides too of the entrance?
I don't care, just so people
Or the
can see
exit,
them.
sorry.
Where's the exit?
Maybe
Yeah, the
maybe
exit,
an
I say that
arrow.
right.
But maybe an arrow would be better. People like to visualize it.
Do that in
Out.
The arrow's on the pavement. People-
Well, nobody's going
I was on that signage committee for all the parking, but it'd really be nice if some of that piece was facing the other way so you could see them when you're coming down the road.
I brought that up too, but for some reason they put them all.
Yeah, they're all blind
Parallel
until
to
you
the
get.
Things that they did.
Yeah, it looks like it should be in a mall.
They're in that, that little berm there by the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yep.
The last thing that came, somebody had told me the other day that we were talking about possibly doing garbage pickup at the homeless encampment.
I believe it does.
Looking out for the safety of our employees picking up this garbage. I mean,
It's already
because
been.
there are certain things that may or may not be there, and
Agreed.
I mean, that's just something as a citizen, I really don't want to see our guys getting hurt needlessly.
Yeah, no, we're talking about dumpsters.
Yeah, I heard rumors, but I figured come to the source rather than, feel the rumor mill.
Yep.
That's all I got.
That's easy.
Sorry, I mean, I can complain about something if you like.
Sure.
The trustees, I mean, I don't know what the hell they do.
All right. They even got a raise.
We miss you, huh?
Yeah, not too much. You got a raise after I left.
We're waiting.
All right. Any other public comment?
No.
Thank you. Okay, department head reports. Sure.
Wow, we're quick already.
Yeah, we can get everybody out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, I got very little. Just got November numbers of 522,000 septage taken in, 27.7K. December numbers down a little bit, 459,000 for about 25K. We're in our winter months, not much going on. The only other thing of note is I received a letter from DEC
Yeah, I saw.
on that, about this possible air facility registration thing. I've talked to Canandaigua. They've received their notification before us. They said talk to our process engineers and they'll help us through it, but it could be anything from just a report. It could be monitoring. I mean, it could be equipment. I'm
Okay.
not sure yet, but I'll keep going.
Yeah, we should probably get hold of Hump. They usually
Well, they,
do that kind of stuff.
him there, thermal process,
Oh, okay.
their process engineer.
Okay.
was, I don't think BCA would be much of a help.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Sorry.
We'll blame Ron on it. But yeah, we can roll somebody because, I mean, we obviously don't know.
Yeah, and it seems, process engineer for TPS has been dealing with this since they've done us and Canandaigua and Geneva. And a bunch of other ones. That's it for me.
Anybody have anything for wastewater?
Same shit, different year.
That's right. Same crap, different year.
True that.
EMS.
So my list is short too, other than, the holidays. We rounded out the year for 1,735 calls for 2023, 147 calls for December. You guys have the call listing on the back of the handout. Since the last board meeting, one of our critical cares research came in. The Knox boxes are now active in the ambulances. And 2 paramedics, Sonia and 1 volunteer, went to the RSI class, which is rapid sequence intubation, also called the difficult airway. And the rest of our paramedics are on a waiting list to attend future classes. They were only allowing 2 per agency to kick off the program in the region. Everything's in service. Fred's guys fixed the garage door at the station today and did service on 31 and service on 33 and 32 are in the near future, tomorrow and Thursday. And the one item on the agenda for that's tonight, I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later.
Yeah, we can talk about it now. So I know there were some concerns brought up with the low SAP program, just in the, I don't know how to put it, what tying us in to spending the money every year. If we don't have a great year, how easy is it to get out of year by year?
Okay.
That was a concern from the board, as well as, it's not really EMS concern, but if we bought work for EMS, probably our fire department counterparts are gonna want it too.
So I can answer the first question. I will email the folks from there. The second question,
Yeah,
it's
that's not really
kind of
the
out of my control if they come knocking on the door. If and when you guys approve the LoSAP for EMS, just one thing you'll have to remember is this would be funded by ambulance billing.
Right. So that's the question, is how much can we tie it to that funding? Like, can we make it contingent that you have that money, or,
Okay,
you know?
I'll ask that question.
Anybody else have any other comments on the low SAP stuff?
In pending the response to that question, I'll put it back on the agenda for next week, or next meeting,
16th, maybe?
which is, the next meeting is a Tuesday also, correct?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are there no other questions, so we don't push it out forever? Okay.
So if you guys have other specific questions about the program, get with Paul, get them answered before our next meeting, I guess.
And I don't know how to answer the second question.
I don't think you can, it's just a statement.
All right.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
Rusty?
Could we, unless Brent's in a hurry, could we do the police next?
Oh, yeah. Anybody else have anything for EMS?
Did anybody go into labor and claim the spot for firstborn of the new year?
No, not with Owego EMS.
Not yet, anyway. Somebody's gonna get
Well,
it.
yeah, not, yeah.
All right. So we will do police now.
So Chief Kennedy has two issues, time sensitive, and of course apologizes for not getting more information to us more quickly so that we understand exactly what's going on. But for the police, things are changing quickly. We just lost one officer on the 15th. We lose two more officers on the 15th of December. We lose two more on the 15th of January. He has been reaching out and interviewing various candidates, and it's not going well. And without getting into details there, we don't have the money, and that's how it works. They're choosing other departments that are offering them considerably more money, amongst other factors that we don't know. Along that lines, there is a gentleman, his name is Cole Ladouceur, Ladouceur. Spell again? Ladouceur, Cole first name, not like Santa Claus stocking. This gentleman is 21 years old. He's in the Air National Guard. He is a firefighter. He right now works at Wegmans. He lives in Syracuse. He is already gone through the academy. He wants to be a police officer. He seems very interested in being a police officer for us. He has 2 weeks that he has to finish out because of some thing that happened with him on the academy. He must be hired by someone in order to do this. And the chief would, I'm going all over the place on this, but the chief would like to hire him part-time, giving him the ability to finish these 2 weeks, and that academy starts, I believe, next week or soon right in there. So he has to be with us right now in order to finish his 2 weeks in the academy, and then he will work part-time for us, and if we like him and everything's fine, we can then offer him full-time. He will be living in Vestal.
The drug such time.
He will be living in Vestal, so he will be local, he won't be far away. And likely, that's all personal, but he's likely to be living in Vestal with one of our current officers. So there's a lot of continuity there. So the request would be that we hire him tonight, part-time, contingent on, he's already done a number of the background check things, but there's 1 or 2 left to be finished, contingent on him passing the rest of the background, and contingent on him in this next few days, this will all be the main motion or anything, but that he will be interviewed by our personnel committee, and that they will give him their okay.
Rusty,
Yes,
I'm sorry, but when you're done.
yeah, okay. So that would be the request made by the chief. I don't know if I've given you all the information that.
What's his name again?
Cole, C-O-L-E, Ladouceur, Ladouceur.
And that academy starts at 12.
And so, yeah, and he has to have a couple of days before that to be signed in there. So it would be, so I'm going to move that we hire him part-time for $20 an hour, starting time, no benefits, and contingent on the passing of all further checks and the blessing or the okay of the interview committee.
You got that?
Rusty, I'll second that. And then I would prefer some discussion.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Ed.
You got that pay rate from the chief?
Yes. All this stuff, yeah, all this is from the chief. Let's hear from Ed.
Okay, so just nothing about that candidacy, but I guess the question that I would have, and maybe this is for the chief and you don't know the answer, but I know that $20 figure that's probably pretty low in terms of the pay band. Where are we, in that, um, where are we in that competitive area? I know most of these guys can go someplace after a couple of years and make 25 or better. Is that still the going rate? Do we need to look at, and again, where would you get the money from? But do we need to look at, what rate we're hiring folks at?
Yeah, I'd like to answer. Of course, that $25 rate is the part-time rate. That is
Yeah.
competitive with much of the part-time. We're going to have a number of discussions about this. I'm not going to answer it right tonight because we're right in the middle, toward the end and in the middle of PBA contract
Yeah.
discussions.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
get into a bunch of that
Yeah.
discussion right now in this venue, but we certainly are going to be talking about all of that. Where are we? What's going on? New York State just raised the minimum wage for anybody for $15 an hour, and on and on and on. And what can we do? How can we be competitive? How can we afford it? We're going to have all that, but tonight's just not.
Okay.
And honestly, Ed, that topic is a discussion in the negotiations.
Yes, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
another reason we don't want to discuss it right now.
Okay.
Somebody else.
I don't have discussion. Anybody else have questions, thoughts? Shall we vote on doing this interesting proposal? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Yes. Ed?
Yes.
And yes.
And then the
Easy one.
second thing, are we done? Second thing from the chief again. Here we go. I complain about this stuff all the time, last minute things we don't know about. But I also don't know about a lot of these things.
Last minute, Ken.
We in our police cars, we have 5 cars in our fleet. We have 2 Tahoes that the chief got from Vestal, used Tahoes that several years back that he got for quite an excellent deal from his Vestal connections that have served us reasonably well. We have 2 Dodge Chargers that are starting to age but are alive, and we have 1 pretty new pickup truck. One of the Tahoes is just not worthy for policing anymore. The other Tahoe has had some things that needs a little bit of repair. The chief has $23,000, I believe, if my numbers aren't perfect, they aren't, but in the reserve for a police car. The police department usually gets $20,000 each year for this. In our tight budget, which we have, that's how it is. I don't believe we gave him $20,000 this year. This is a holdover from last year. So he didn't get the 20 more, so he would have 40 for a police car. He's got 23. I'm going to answer some of your questions if you need them. The police department has gone and researched auction sites, websites, things that happen. They've researched Auctions International, who we deal with quite often. They've researched Munici. I'll tell you all this stuff later. And what it's been selling for, these things have been selling for a lot on auction. So if we try to buy one, we're going to pay a ton. We paid 15 grand or something for these things back when they were worth 20 grand
For the 2 Tahoes.
for each. But now they're 2018 Tahoes. I'm telling all this to Laura because she wanted all this info. That one's got about 101,000 miles. That is going on auction, but for between 12 and 2,400. They're guessing about 50,000. I'm sorry, they're guessing about 15,000 for that if we put it on auction, based on what they're selling for. Then the other one is also a 2018 that has 120,000 miles, has some other issues, and they're guessing it wouldn't go for the 12 to 24. It might go for 8 to 10. So the money for this, if we decide to do it, I said they need a vehicle. I haven't got that far yet. That's the money that would be used. The vehicle he's looking at is a 2023 brand new Dodge Durango, SUV type vehicle, good police vehicle. They sell for about 50 grand. He is through competitive bidding and through Vestal being willing to do him a favor. He's going to be able to buy one of these for $42,000. There are always other expenses on outfitting a police car, but that's the price of the car. Anyways, believes that with these, either selling these, auctioning these two Tahoes and the 23 he has will be able to cover the price of the Tahoe. It is time, I'm sorry, the Durango. It is time sensitive because the nature of the nature. Vestal ordered them, who knows when they're coming, they're coming, maybe they're coming, and they came. Vestal got, oh, by the way, this stuff isn't, I'm telling you the story. It's not absolutely 100% correct. It's the story that I have. They got 6 of them for themselves and they got 1 for him. I mean, the world doesn't end. If he doesn't take it, he doesn't take it. But he's got to decide right now if he's going to take that car, or if we have to decide if we're going to take that car. A quick little piece of my opinion in this, we're not going to get that car for that $50,000 car for this kind of price. If we don't take that car, we're going to buy another car as soon as these break and we need it, but we're not going to get it for that. That's part of the urgency for him to keep his semi-word and for us to keep good relationships with Vestal, who seems to take good care of us on these things, et cetera, et cetera. This would be the time to do that. I don't know if I missed anything on that, but that's the general feel of the situation. So if we do that, we're going to be down to, we'll be having 1 less car than we had, but we'll have better cars and be in better shape, but we're going to be.
Rusty, is that a motion?
Yeah, I started, I wanted to talk for 20 more minutes. I'll second Ed's motion.
All right, the motion will be to purchase that car.
Yes,
There we go.
to purchase a police car and from the line items of whatever they are of
Yeah, we have a
police
car
reserve
line item,
F-23 or whatever, and
along with the profits of auctioning off the other 2 cars.
and generally, Ed, we put a number in there. He says 42. We should put up to 45. We put a number to give us some wiggle room. It shouldn't be that, but
Yeah.
is that?
What's the car's worth?
Well, I don't know.
I need one. I'd like to buy one.
I'd like you to let me finish this.
Yeah, just something.
Thank you.
Not secret.
Yep. No, it's not top secret. Just.
Okay, so this is contingent, purchase is contingent on the fact that we have, the reserve and we will get the money from auction.
Well, that is how we're saying we're paying for it. When we buy something, we have to say where the money's coming from. That's where the money's coming.
And it's not actually a reserve.
Because we're gonna,
Account.
it's just a line. It's not contingent because we're gonna buy it. If we do this, we're voting to buy it. So we don't get to contingent it because then we bought it. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, it'll come out of the general fund and we will then take care of how it's allocated. Yeah.
If there turns out to be a glitch, then we will have to figure out what monies are what monies. But this is where the money's coming from. Am I making sense? Okay. Yeah. So it's not contingent. We won't be voting it's contingent. We'll be buying it tomorrow or whenever we do it.
And then hopefully all the money comes back in.
All the money should come back in, which should be okay.
Because I mean, an auction, you never know what you're gonna really get.
Is it okay? All right.
And this
Do you
puts
need
in,
enough information?
I know the chief wants to kind of have like a plan, right? So that we're not buying 2 or 3 cars at one time, and we're not buying cars every year, so that we can use it's not really a reserve account, but that money that we put in the budget to buy a car, buying a car every couple of years.
I think Nate's going to chime in and say, did this go through competitive bid?
Ed, you're reading my mind.
I would assume it did, since it's, well, it's probably state bid.
It's a state bid car.
As long as we're positive about that, right? Because I don't want you to, authorizing purchases you're not supposed to. So
Yeah, I would be pretty positive of that, since that's about 6 of them.
Yeah, done this before.
That could be a contingency,
It could, yeah.
contingent upon the bidding process is legal, and that would be a fine contingency.
Not a bad thing to have me check it.
Ed, you want to add that to the motion?
Yeah,
Contingent on the-
Yes, I would amend my motion to add that language that it's
Second.
got to be confirmed that it's competitive bid.
I second.
and actually just to clarify that you're actually piggybacking off of a state contract, which was competitively bid.
Right.
Yeah, that's the.
But I can't tell you for sure yes, so we need to ask the chief.
I believe he told me but I can't tell you that for sure. It'd be secondhand.
But we can find that info out.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for it.
Find it out in 10 minutes, 2 minutes on a cell phone.
We'll call him now.
Okay.
Any other questions? Nate, you see any other issues with that?
Oh, that was the main one that jumped to my mind.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody?
These auction prices, 15,000 for the one with 100,000 miles on it, and the 10 to 12,000 for the other one with 120,000. Those are pretty conservative current auction
I
prices.
just talked to Rudy today. He's on the website every day checking this out. He's on these 2 websites. He tells me that those are the numbers that have come through and that he's checking on. So that's the best guess. And I would say that's reasonably conservative if it's 12 to 24.
I can tell you anecdotally that those things, even a used, well-used government vehicle, those Tahoes and Suburbans are considered to be very robust. They go for top dollar, even one that's used up. I know that because my son is an aficionado of these things, and he has 2 of them.
And once again, Dave, I'm just giving you secondhand information from what I'm told, but they seem to be pretty confident in this.
I don't think I don't think that would be out of the question at all.
Yeah, I think that's in the frame.
Well, if we can sell one to Fred for 25, we'd be set.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
General fund will pay the general fund. I don't know how that works. All right, shall we vote on this?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Look at that.
Are we gonna visit Fred's concern, or we're gonna?
That he needs one of them?
Yes.
We're gonna, at another time, we're gonna talk to Fred about code in the vehicle.
Okay.
Well, that's something we can look at, right? This
But that's,
would cost us
I
maybe
understand.
it's in there.
10 grand.
Understand.
If it costs more than that to buy a decent vehicle, then maybe it's worth it.
Okay. We got you.
Anything else from the police?
That's all for tonight. Other than just, once again, we've already alerted everybody. Very bad situation with police officers and how many they have, so we'll be talking about that a whole bunch.
And we're hiring full-time police officers. Anybody sees any looking?
You need a lateral transfer of $25,000 bonus.
There you go.
They're out there.
There you go.
The
right.
lateral
That's the problem.
transfers,
That's the problem.
I mean, that's how we lost one of our EMS providers, lateral transfer to the board's place, so.
Some of the other departments are paying
economy reset, I hate to say.
I know, I agree.
We're a village where the tax base and the industry and the things in our village, instead of going up, they're going down constantly, and everybody else is trying to pay, but that's a talk for another day.
Yep. I wish we could pay them more.
So I'm all done.
All right.
Mike?
Yep.
I have a question, for Paul. You sent an email about, garage door. What does that
Yeah.
mean with that?
Fred fixed it.
Fred repaired it today.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's fine.
There's a
it's
cable.
already repaired, thank you.
Yeah.
It wasn't Ben?
Very good.
No, it wasn't.
Is there nothing else for police? Or DPW? We're
So I made a deal with the town of Owego. They came out here and regraded our parking lot. We used the millings that we had out here for the last 2 years and re-milled our parking lot. Clean all the mud off the walkway down to the park, or down to the walk park. It's still pretty dirty, hoping for rain because there's no way of kind of washing it, but we scraped it. The big trees on Ross Street are finally down. I take them ones down and we'll be moving on to Front Street now. Clean up, those 3 big pin oaks by the Legion. What's the lady's name that's raising her house? Laura?
Kim Trahan.
Thank you. So those trees there in front of her house are coming down for that job and they need to come down. I won't bore you with the rest of the stuff, but just our ongoing picking up Christmas trees. Sucked out a couple drains that from the flash flood we got here the last couple weeks. We've been doing that, and just ongoing stuff every day. But I wanted to talk to you more about the parking lot that is done and ready to be used.
Nice.
Yeah, you're cleaned up.
You just had little stones in your car for a while. It was nice.
I don't know, I just beat in pretty good. Shook this whole building a couple times today. Yeah, it was shaking.
I heard we were gonna bring down.
Yeah. The lights in the DPW are really rattling.
Swinging.
Yep, they sure were. It looks good. They did a good job, and I thank the town for coming over and helping us.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yep. And, we're gonna take the rest of the millings, and then down by the cattle barns, that milling road right there, we're gonna lay that tomorrow.
By the fairground there.
Yeah.
Might be plowing snow this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. PA's supposed to get most of it. We're only supposed to, right now, as of right now, 1 to 3.
I'm sure we'll be having conference calls about it.
Yeah, I just got an email today. Yeah. Are you with Mr. Williams tomorrow? 9 o'clock? Safety? Thorn? Chief Williams? It's one tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Call?
Zoom.
I'll have to look through my email, maybe.
Yeah, if I didn't put a note on my computer, I would have never remembered it because he sent it back out in December.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess maybe I'll look. Anybody have anything DPW?
I believe we received a email heads up about an employee who has been employed since 2008. Who's no longer, I don't want to give too much information about this. If it's a matter of executive session, that's being paid, is no longer here because of long-term illness. Is that something to be discussed, determined in executive session? I'd like to call for an executive session to discuss that.
Second.
All right, let's vote on that.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave?
Yep.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. So we'll do that at the end, I guess. Because let's figure that out with it. Go in the other room, call me or something. Bring that, I guess. All right, anybody else in DPW with us? All right. Fire department, you got anything for them?
I have not heard anything from Jim
I haven't heard from them in a while.
in a long time. All I got to say about that.
Rumor mill is that Jim will not be running for chief again. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. I don't know who's gonna step up.
See where that goes.
But yeah, I haven't heard from the fire department in a while, just checking with them. I just said I haven't even heard from Jim at all. They're up to. All right, clerk's office, got anything? Petitions are starting to sign, right? Yeah. Business as usual. All right, next item, payment of bills. Everybody get them? Anybody have questions?
You good, Mike?
I'm good.
I'm gonna ask, I got a new person to ask.
Nobody likes.
I gotta ask Fran because she's, no, because you're out, you're looking at those and stuff. You good with the bills?
I'm fine with the payment of bills.
Okay. You're my sources, so. Move to pay the bills.
Second.
All right, we shall vote on the bills. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
David? Yes. Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Moving right along, it's an easy one tonight, minutes.
Come on, tell us, oh, come on, it's good.
In the minutes, we called for a local law this year, but we didn't say what it was for. So just adding that, we're gonna have it on storage containers and stuff. Yeah, the title of the local law. So
What page?
Principal Secretary by Spencer, hearing local law number 1, but it didn't mention what it was.
yeah,
Page
page 5.
5 toward the top, prove the local law. Local law 1 doesn't say what the local law was. What do you want? You want it to say?
Yeah, the
Storage
title.
containers?
Yeah, it was like a.
Right, whatever the title.
Yeah, whatever the title is, it's a storage container law.
And it'll be right on the top of that.
That was the only thing I saw, for me. So with that, a motion to approve as
Second.
amended.
Second.
All right, anybody else buy it? Russ?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Trustee reports. Which end of the table should we start at? Well, let's start at Rusty and go back. So let's start at Fran.
Nothing to say.
We're gonna break the record.
Charles.
I have nothing already recorded, anything on that.
Before I forget, Ed, do you have anything for trustee report? He's not on the thing, maybe he was on the phone.
Except for one executive.
No, sorry about that. No, I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Dave.
We, meaning all three of us, kind of went over today to the donut and beer shop.
The parking traffic safety.
Right, and we kind of looked over the situation over there and met with Ike as well. And he had a couple ideas and we had a couple ideas. And we're gonna throw one at Fred, maybe he's already heard part of it, about possibly on the west side of, is that North Avenue right there?
McMaster Street is the back street.
McMaster, yeah.
Yeah, possibly adding 3 to 4 parking places over
Mark,
in that area.
Yeah, marked parking places.
Is that right?
You're talking about along the street?
Yeah.
That's already parking there. There's a room for about 5. You're talking about
About 5.
not keeping the parking spaces maybe, and maybe reducing it slightly so that there will be
So we can have a bottleneck again, in the railroad tracks at the end there. And he is gonna take care of the other side of the street as far as marking out his lines, and running a line right at the edge of the road, put a yellow mark there. I know you've had some concerns about plowing over there in the past.
I have concerns about a lot of things on that road, for them to park there. What happens when the county trucks go to Scott Smith's, buses?
over to the gas station, right?
Yeah.
Over Scott Smith and Son.
They're always cutting across there, coming from North Valley area, and they meet there. I mean, it's still a pinch point. I like the idea of moving the sign back.
Yeah, well,
That would help. But in that area, you save 3, that's whatever you decide you guys wanna do. I don't have the answers.
Could it be, signage, signage there saying that, trucks above a certain weight are not allowed on that section of McMaster?
well, they've gotta go over there to get Scott Smith.
No, they can go down to West Avenue. You don't have to go McMaster.
Most of them do though. And the buses definitely go over there. Every bus goes that way.
the school buses go that way.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have to go to that section of McMaster. There's nothing else there.
It's another thought. I mean, we're gathering information and looking at
Yeah, I mean, if
possible
the
options of things.
distance wise, because the traffic is not good, then maybe we limit the size of vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, that becomes an enforcement thing. If they can't only go that one block, but can go the next one, they're still probably gonna go there.
Yeah, but there's no parking there near the Agway. They're not parking on the road there.
Currently, I got something, like some sticker sort of tape to temporarily mark out so people can visually see where the parking spots are available. Currently, there's a sign, but it's really faded, and so he's gonna mark those things out so people will be able to see where they can park legally already, and we can get some data on the flow of how traffic is flowing around, if there's any accidents. You know, he's got cones out for a loading zone so that, people won't park too close to their building. So right now, we're just sort of seeing like maybe, since they put out the cones, they haven't had anybody park in a funny way. And so,
That's good, cause that deck area was kind of
The
Yeah.
deck,
mess.
if people
pulled in.
pull up to the
next
deck,
to it.
the rear end of the vehicle
Way
stick
out.
right out in the road.
so they'll just have a little bit of time, like the opening was big, so it'll settle down a little bit, and people will now, when they do that, they'll be able to see where it's appropriate to park, because before they were just guessing. So I think people will hopefully follow the rules, and, once they'll have some visual way to see how to do it.
Marking it will help.
Yeah, right where those steps are, that needs to be smoothed out there, because that's hazard waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not smooth there.
So we'll just be able to like see how it goes and.
That's private property.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that's his own problem.
Whatever you wanna do.
We'll see how the, if they have trucks and, everybody going around.
Yeah,
It'll
I know.
Especially if we get the
itself.
plows on it.
Right now, we've got some complaints from the police.
We've had a lot of complaints.
Because there was a couple accidents.
There's already been an accident there.
I have a question, Mike. Is there any requirement for distance between the railroad track and parking?
Excuse me?
Is there any requirements in distance between the railroad track and where people are parked?
Other than that's rare property, on the other side of our sidewalk.
We don't own the property, like we can't pave the street over there closer to the railroad track.
Might I say something? There are requirements about when you're on a street or coming to the railroad crossing to the railroad tracks, how close you can park on that. But when you're on a side street paralleling the railroad tracks, that's not the case.
There's no requirement.
Well,
No, not on a side street paralleling the tracks.
Other than the railroad owns that property.
Well, that'd be on their property, but on the street,
Okay.
you could park, but not when you're coming up, like Adeline Street or Calkin Street across the tracks. No, you can't park
Right up
2
to the
feet, 5
property.
feet. There's a distance, you have to park from the tracks like that. But all those streets that are parallel are farther away than that.
Could we think about making that part of McMaster one way?
It's an idea.
I don't know if that would, which way would alleviate the situation best. But if you made it one way, one way in would probably be a lot easier. One way, into the village towards Scott Smith, towards Agway.
Yeah, no, that could happen. Anything could happen. Rusty?
And always a decent thought about the safety. Of course, what we have in this little bitty village with all this terrible traffic everywhere, especially North Avenue, and the crazy thing it is, when you do that, people use these various ways when they live in the village about getting around. And when you do that,
Yeah, to defeat it. Yeah.
It creates a different problem. It solves one and then has another one. So it's tricky.
Yeah, but people get used to it, just like the two streets there between George and Talcott.
They'll figure
You
it out.
know, they were
Oh,
both
true.
two-way, and it became one way this way and one way the other.
Yeah, Spruce and Hill.
That wasn't a place where you're trying to get around the red lights. If you did some of those things people talk about Temple Street, if you do them down on some of the places downtown where people use them as get-arounds, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, for years,
Ask him for the floor.
for years when it was Thompson's, we never had that problem. So I agree with Laura. Once that height dies down, people figure out stuff.
kind of, this is a different animal.
Mr. Mayor, would you like to recognize one of our people from the floor? It's your show.
I just had a question.
Sure.
The Owego Appalachian building that used to be on Talcott Street, between Talcott and Adeline, that area is kind of like just paved over. Is that property anyone can park on? Just because that's about half a block
Yeah, no,
from
the
the
schools.
I believe it still belongs to the school district.
Yeah, really?
And what?
I believe it still belongs to the school district, doesn't it?
Do they maintain that?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
To their
I believe
satisfaction,
It
it's
is
their
mowed and I have seen it plowed. So I was
Yeah.
just wondering who did that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's too bad because that would be a nice little lot.
Yeah, that would be a good place.
Maybe I could buy it
Well,
from the
back
school
in the
district.
days, that
So, yeah, and when they got their zoning variance, there was kind of a proposal to lease a bunch of little lots over there. I don't know if any of that happened. Because there are some parking areas over there in the flats that have spots like that lot.
Right.
There's extra parking at Scott Smith and Sons. So there are options over there to move some of the cars, but the problem is the business is a different animal than like Thompson's that was there where people came in, got your groceries, deli, whatever, and got out. Here now you're going in, having a beer, eating a pretzel, hanging out for 2 hours.
Yeah,
So
socializing.
You got 30 cars there instead of 2.
Yeah. And Mike realizes that there's gonna be an initial wave of people for the first couple of weeks. Everybody's gonna wanna come and try it. Gonna see ads in the paper, things like that. And that will dwindle as time goes on. And then it'll become a more stable and routine.
Keep making them pretzels taste like that. I remember with me.
Oh yeah, no, they got good stuff.
You've had it already?
Oh, yeah.
I've been
Got
there.
lucky.
I parked into the deck and thought, this ain't right.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
I questioned even, should that deck even be that close to the road?
Probably not. It's there now.
I've been there. I parked over here at the Foundry and took the shuttle.
Yeah, right? Take the tram over.
I think it is a
Taken idea.
But I pulled in, perpendicular to deck thinking, it looks like a parking spot to get out and you're like,
Yeah.
middle of the road.
You're the guy who's complaining about.
I have a good brother.
So, before Dave finishes up, this is another thing that requires some consideration. The concerns about safety there are well-founded and have to be thought through. The concerns about what's the best for all the various considerations have to be thought through, and we need to be doing this.
No, yeah, we need to look at that area, especially with the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Complaints from the neighborhood, people are, and a lot of those are enforcement things, right? I mean, we can't force people to park where they should park.
So, three of us have spent some time and some discussion. Others, if you're so interested, you've been by there, but you might go over there and look at that with another eye and what.
And I will say, school opens back up tomorrow. Go there at 3:45.
With the school buses.
With all the traffic.
And all of, because that's, once again, that's where the people want to, that's a shortcut.
You gotta imagine where that street is.
And they go to Scott Smith's every day after their runs.
Holy cow. I'm just saying, drive that neighborhood, 3:45, 4 o'clock. Look out. It takes you an hour to get out of there.
Yeah, and Owego Donut and Beer is I think going to become a gathering spot for teachers also. So that's only going to make that worse.
I know if I was a teacher,
Why not?
if I were a teacher, that'd be.
Might even have a donut.
Yeah, probably.
But school lets out all the more reason just to sit there and have
Oh
a
my
few more.
God. It's crazy.
Yeah, they should have a discounted price for police.
Traffic wise, that area is nuts.
Oh, Dave, sorry, I
4 o'clock.
sorry I interrupted your report.
No, welcome your input on that.
So do I still move the sign back then?
Yes.
Okay, that's legal to do?
The
No.
here to corner sign,
Yeah.
because we got to put up a new one. The sign is bad. I'll look at the code book and see if it says exactly. If it doesn't say exactly, it would probably be legal for us to put it where we want it.
Right. It wouldn't hurt to move it a little bit because it is hard to see up Adeline Street.
I doubt very
You're
much.
not gonna see it from Adeline Street.
Well, I mean, it's hard to see when you're coming out of it because everybody's parking.
Well, that was my next question. Are you gonna put one there for Adeline Street if somebody pulls out of Adeline Street?
We should put the signs up, yeah.
Well, we should absolutely put one on Talcott Street. And
I understand that.
let's look some more at the.
But I'm asking if you're pulling out of Adeline Street, if there's cars up along there,
Right.
you gonna be able to see around them.
Probably not.
You want that traffic?
You got
Maybe
the
we'll
train
look at that again.
going through
Do
there.
what you want. Yeah, I had no problem moving to Talcott Street when I get that. But is it legal? That's what I'm asking. With that X amount more feet.
I'll find out for you that either tonight or tomorrow.
We'll go look at
We'll go look at the Adeline corner. We'll look at the rest of that too. Not that, I mean, if you want the traffic committee to do the legwork, we'll do it.
And we should definitely clearly mark it. I mean, that usually helps. People know what to do.
Oh, definitely. I talked to Street pulling on McMaster Street. Definitely, that corner needs to be open.
Well, I'm just concerned, are there certain hours when the train goes through that section?
It went
Can
through and
find
we were
out
there
what their
today.
Schedule is?
I don't know if it is on an actual schedule. I don't know.
So, I mean, they're probably 3 or 4 times a day.
Well, probably more than that.
And, you know, we already don't have crossings on those streets.
No, it goes real slow and blows its horn the whole time.
The guy still walks along the side? No?
Jumps off, yeah.
There wasn't a guy
Conductor
today.
jumps off.
Yeah, this new company hasn't had a guy. They just blow the horn a lot.
Yeah, and he doesn't face forward.
We were there today when it was coming through and blowing, and we know the neighbors don't like the blowing, and Ike and the whatever, don't like the horn blowing, but that horn has to blow because there's about 4 intersections there that have no crossing.
Right.
So it has to blow, and it has to blow a lot.
Well, that's the law. You have to have a guy there to stop the traffic, or they have to blow the horn the whole time the train goes through the crossing.
Yep.
They're just blowing the horn the whole time.
It was a car across the trail he still would have hit it because he was facing the opposite way, wasn't even watching where he was
Yeah.
going.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
That's practice.
Driving the thing backwards.
Okay.
What else you got, Dave?
That's all I had at this point.
Yeah, we're looking into that because it's an issue.
But we will, like I said, we're gonna, like Laura mentioned, we're gonna put some temporary marks in there. Or Ike's gonna put some temporary marks in there, we'll be monitoring that.
Yeah, I think clarity will help there.
See how the flow of traffic does by itself.
And we'll see, I mean, like, it's new now, so we'll see.
Okay, that's it.
Laura?
For me, the parking and traffic committee met today. For the agenda for the next meeting, can you put Mike Brown on the agenda? He is going to talk to us about the Clean Energy Community Program. And so we're in it and we are really close to getting more money. And then once we get that money, we'll get more money. And so he's gonna talk to us about how that works.
Who is he?
Mike Brown, he is our coordinator for Clean Energy Communities.
Can I ask you a quick question, related thing?
Sure.
These acronyms are hard for me. We got CMS, CCC, we got I don't even remember a CEC, Clean Energy Communities. To me, that's even another one.
I think that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yep.
That was like the first one we ever did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, yeah, because we got so blasted many now. We got to get in the CRS so we can get in the CEC and the CDM. Okay.
We're actually working them all together.
All right.
The CEC, CSC, and the CRS are all working together in a crossroads action to optimize what we're doing. Okay.
Has Julie set a date for the next meeting?
So that's the next thing on my list, yeah. So the next hazard mitigation planning meeting, the date is not set for that, but the county just put out their release plan. So they're gonna release it to like the action members of each community, and then it will get sent out to the rest of us. And then they'll have a public comment period in a meeting for the county plan. And so we're gonna run ours in tandem because everything has to get turned in at the same time. So in the next couple of days, we'll know the dates. But so it'll be coming up pretty soon though.
That's a public meeting?
Yeah, we'll schedule our last planning meeting, and then after that, there'll be a public meeting. We, as a board, will probably be invited to the Climate Smart Communities Task Force meeting to hear the presentation. And it's more in depth there, but Mike Brown will give a presentation just for us here of just his program. But yeah, everybody can always come to the Climate Smart Communities Task Force meetings. We have set a new date for those for this next, for 2024. And that's gonna be on the second Wednesdays of the month from 10 to 12. And that's over at the 56 Main in the executive meeting room. And we're doing a lot in those meetings. Yeah, so if we conclude that the task force meetings are the second Wednesdays, and the hazard mitigation planning meeting, the last one, we'll know the date of that soon. Then we're still working on the Climate Smart Communities grant budget, and that'll just wait a little bit longer while the state figures out their new financial system that they're putting in. And I'm still working on the Jake breaks law. And for the planning and zoning boards, we still need, I haven't heard anything about resignations. Have you?
I'm not either.
Did we reach out to them?
Yeah, we will.
So once we get those resignations, we do have people willing to serve on both the committees, and then we'll be set to set some meetings
Right,
because
yeah.
we'll have so much coming up.
Okay.
Mm,
Remind me about those two.
And that's it for me.
Rusty, your
They're
last.
not gonna come back to me? No, I've done my piece with the police, nothing for me.
Communications. Oh, are they gonna do anything? Mayor's report. It's been crazy, as usual. Survived COVID again.
When are you scheduled for next COVID?
I don't know when I'm scheduled.
June maybe, or I don't know.
Probably soon. Whenever
So
this,
everybody in your family
whenever
gets?
this round wears out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Stay off of East Temple Street.
Yeah, that's a good plan. In general.
Get it over with.
My wife's still sick, but not COVID. Maybe it's COVID again. Who knows? All right, last thing as usual, public comment.
Actually, did have one more question.
Always.
Sounds like you.
The lights on Southside Drive, I was under the impression that was gonna be like the first project done. What
Yeah.
the hell's going on?
There's issues over there.
It was supposed to be super easy is what we were told.
Yeah, well, they didn't realize they didn't have power.
Ron, you almost got that right. It
So
was gonna be the
village
first project started and the last one done.
I mean, we were given the impression it was gonna be easy done.
Yeah.
Yet it's still dark as heck.
Yeah, they're supposed to be figuring out what it's gonna take to really do it.
Now the ground's frozen, that's great.
Yep.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask, because
There's only a section of them that don't have power.
I go to
That also
Sarah
includes
quite
going
often,
around
and it's
onto the
dark.
highway, right?
Yeah, I was over there a couple nights ago. It's like,
I can see the stars.
we got a bill for their work?
Not yet, they're still working that part.
Oh,
You're definitely not the only community that doesn't use their lights. It's all over every exit, all the way from here to.
Oh, yeah, well, they're expensive to run.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna, next week, they're gonna replace the lights on North Avenue. Not North Avenue, I'm sorry, Front Street and Court Street. They're gonna replace those. The ones we just did, they're gonna do those get replaced every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, right.
This isn't funny. It's not funny.
No. But supposedly they're figuring that out. We haven't had a DRI status for a couple weeks because of the holidays.
They're blame the holidays.
Last I knew, they were still figuring that out.
It's slightly more
Christmas
obnoxious
break,
now that
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
on the
Christmas
board.
break.
Mr. DeVarney, Mr. Pelton seems to want to take your valuable time up here, so I just would like you to have your shot.
Well, since you're talking a little bit about parking and traffic.
Oh.
Yeah, you open your mouth, you
I
open
know.
the door, I'm walking in. But it's not about Page Street. I think maybe your parking committee might want to look into some way of getting grant money or something for a parking enforcement officer.
That'd be a good plan.
Because I don't care, everybody says we've got a parking problem, we don't have a parking problem, we have an enforcement problem. And I went the other day, drove down Lake Street, there's nowhere to park. But when I went to turn on Front Street, all those spots that were blocked out there by the bank, there's 3 cars parked there. It makes it hard to see when you're coming out of Lake Street.
Yeah. And it's hatched off now. I mean, it's pretty obvious that you're not supposed to park there.
I came around Lake Street one day, that little spot right by the antique center, there was a Mercedes parked there.
Somebody always parks there.
can we put maybe pylons there for a while?
I mean, at some point, you people gotta do what they're supposed to do.
How much are those
There's
spike,
some
how much are those
concrete
spike
Makes
strips?
sense, it's not all that common anymore, Mike.
Well, yeah, it would help if we had
Mike,
somebody-
once again, you're right on top of it, and we need to change rules, and of course, the enforcement part, yeah, and as we just said, we don't have enough police officers to get donuts. We're in trouble. I'm just saying, no, we want to do that, and we just, I don't know.
I mean, honestly though, no, I'll wait on that.
Oh,
I'll
tell us,
shut
Mike.
on that.
Don't hold back.
You opened up the gate, now I have to think on myself.
I'm not gonna say it while it's recorded.
I think we really need to look into that issue about the roosters.
I agree with that. They were going at it tonight when I left.
Oh, God.
They were crawling.
There's gotta be some kind of.
They don't know it's time?
All the time.
All the time. All day, all
I
night.
don't hear the train, I don't hear the roosters.
I'm gonna start having a lot of fried chicken pretty soon.
Right. Maybe that's why I don't hear the roosters, because the train's in my ear.
The free range in the street, I think.
Roasted rooster.
But I'm gonna have some fried chicken too.
All right, perfect. I got an air fryer.
Me too.
Me too, me three.
Oh, yeah, I actually.
And I know where I can get my hands on a
Did you want
turkey
something?
fryer
If I
too.
may, Mike. How are you done?
Catch them on the street, they're yours, right?
Yeah, free
When
range, right?
the police officers put warning stuff on cars and they don't do anything, that's really, what's the point of putting the papers on the windows?
I agree.
Because then people just see them as a joke. And I know that's not the case because I know them personally. They're very good at their job, but I know they're stretched.
Right.
So if that's the guy, I'd say, don't even bother putting the papers out until we can enforce that.
Yeah, if you put papers out and don't come back the next day to get tickets out.
Right. Which often aren't enforced anyway, but that's a whole nother issue.
Well, that's a
I'll include myself now for the conversation.
Any other public comment? We do have an executive session. Do we anticipate any action from the executive session?
I think what is warranted.
That was the,
It'll just matter what I do with the recording.
Did we get the paperwork? Did we sent out some paperwork about,
yeah, we have the paper on what it is.
I'm not 100% clear how it works. Kind of a neat question. No one's got that.
Yeah.
We probably don't have to take an action tonight on this thing. We have to make, we need to talk about it and probably make some kind of, get to a decision, but we don't have to, this is not time sensitive to take an action. That doesn't appear to be, no.
Okay.
So we probably will not take an action.
One more question. If you have more questions, let us know.
Yeah, there'll be more questions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so I will end the recording since we're not gonna take an action.
That eliminates that.
All right, guys. I'll jump off. I'll leave it to you. Carry on.
Ed, we're not gonna, Ed, you there? Ed, you still there?
Yeah.
We're not gonna take an action, so I or someone will try to tell you what we did and what's going on.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sound good to me? Call you on the phone.
Fell asleep.
Yeah, they sleep.
I didn't quite catch what are you doing?
We're gonna go in the other room and call you on the phone.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Don't necessarily have to go in the other room.
This conference will now be recorded.
Move to adjourn.
All right, see everybody next time. Yes, sir. 8:52, somebody tell that to Rob.